Well, hey, book lovers, I am so excited to welcome you to a live book reading. We voted yesterday on Instagram for which book I would be reading. You guys know I've got a million of them. And today we are going to be reading a little bit from Mulan Dragon Shifter. So I'm really excited for this. Also, I'm really not excited for this because it starts off with a little bit of swoony stuff, and I got to read it on air to you. So we're going to dive in. We're going to see how far I get. I'm going to look at the beginning of this book. So let me tell you a little bit about what Mulan Dragon Shifter is about before we jump in. And I will read you the blurb, and then we're going to jump in. We're going to read the first part of it on screen. I'm actually going to put it on screen so you can see the words as I'm reading it so you know when I mess up. Okay, let's do this. There are no, off to a bang. There are no female dragon shifters in Yan Liu except Mulan and her family. Only the enemy province has women with scales, so when they attack the center as Mulan is dropping off her twin brother for his assignment with the army, she's forced to play the role of a non-existent brother after she shifts and rushes into battle to protect her real twin. Together, they must lie to their commanding officer, Mulan's secret boyfriend, and I lost my spot. There we go. And the entire army to protect her from their wrath should they find out and consider her an enemy. But Mulan's special gift might be too great to keep her secret hidden for long. She may be the only one that can save the kingdom and return the black jade blossom to the emperor. Can Mulan survive the war, navigate two men vying for her attention, and keep her scales hidden long enough to return the province's life source to her people? Or will dark, hidden forces destroy everything and cause her plans to burn hotter than her scale-melting dragon flames? So we're going to dive in. We are going to read a little bit of Mulan Dragon Shifter together. And then if you guys have some questions, I'm happy to get those answered for you while we're here hanging out for just a couple of minutes on our live stream. So let me go ahead. I'm actually going to use my blue light blocking glasses so I don't burn my eyes out as I am doing this, because you can actually damage your vision if you are doing too much screen work, and having those black words against the white background can be a little on the painful side. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop that right up there and click over to it so I can actually read it. All right, I'm gonna grab some water and we're gonna dive in. We are going to read the first part of Mulan Dragon Shifter. And while we're doing that, please admire how pretty my chapter headers are inside of this book, which are in all of the editions except for the Kindle over on Amazon because they have file size limits. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's dive in. Let's see how I do. We might be having a morning. We'll find out. Chapter 1. A piercing screech fills the valley. Glass in the window panes rattle as the mighty beast goes by, flapping its wings. It dips low over the town, forcing air to barrel through the streets, knocking people off balance. I have to go. I'm so sorry, Mulan. Qiang, wait. I shouldn't have called to him. I know better, but I couldn't help myself. You're not ready to go back. Stepping toward me, Qiang takes my shoulders in his hands. It's been 2 months since you found me, Mulan. You healed me. Qiang cuffs my chin in his hand as he tilts my gaze up to meet his. The lieutenant's kiss is soft, piercing my very soul. My hand snakes out from my side, wrapping around his waist as I will us back to the blanket we laid on yesterday, eating lunch in the sparkling afternoon sun outside of the hospital where he had been staying to recover. He obliges as I pull him closer, running his hand through my hair. Everything sparks under his touch. The bottom of his long hair tickles my wrist as my hands brush over the back of his belt in my foolish attempt to keep him by my side. I have to go, he shouts, pulling away quickly as another dragon flies overhead, screaming commands at the army. I'll come back to you, Lin Mulan. When the war is over, I'll come back to you. Smirking over his shoulder, he blows a kiss at me. The moment he turns away, he shifts. Red wings lift him into the sky over the pointed and sloped buildings. He's careful not to cause too much of a wind tunnel as he takes flight, sparing the merchants' tables and wares. I lower my hand from where it had been outstretched to him. 2 months wasn't enough time. His wounds from the battle had healed, but I wasn't ready to say goodbye. They're calling for a conscription. A woman's voice rises above the noise of the vendors and floats to the alley Qiang and I were hiding in to say goodbye. They demanded our men go to war. Wow. Words are hard, sorry guys. They demand our men go to war. There wasn't supposed to be a conscription. The enlisted men are supposed to meet in the center, but now we have to send our sons to war with them. Chen's army must be escaping with the Black Jade Blossom. We can't let that happen. It is an honor to serve the emperor and the province, woman, a man shouts in return. They would take our sons, she fires back as I round the corner, hurrying to see what is happening. Every family must provide a warrior to join the army today. They don't even have time to prepare. Her screams turn to hysterics as she clutches a toddler in her arms. The merchant tries to calm her, but the women in the crowd pick up her cries. Suddenly, as if realizing it all at the same time, the crowd disperses, rushing to their homes. If what the woman says is true, we'll all have to provide a dragon to fight in the Emperor's army, to fight to get our life source back. Jinhai, I whisper, my brother will be forced to fight. His dragon scales will protect him from the attack, but he'll die anyway, and it will be my fault. I race through the town, past ancient angled buildings and pagodas, knocking into people running for their homes. Ripples of whispers fill the streets. It is an honor. An honor? How is it an honor to burn cities and die for the province? It is a necessity, but there's only obligation, no honor. Yet, I know giving oneself to protect others is the most valiant and selfless thing a person can do, which is why I know my brother will never survive this war. Mulan! Father's voice is strong as I crash into the house. Steady, child. Ancient-looking paintings fill the walls of the house as screens block off sections of main room. A cluster of lanterns hang in the corner, their tassels reaching halfway down the wall. The short table on the far side of the room is covered with a project my little sister was working on, but she's nowhere in sight. Where is Jinhai, I demand, forgetting all about the teary goodbye with the lieutenant moments ago. My gaze darts around the house, searching for him. Painted fans on the wall flash in my sight as I search. Bowls with luxurious markings resting on the shelves blur in my vision. I filter out the soft music coming from the other room. What's going on? Father orders information. As a retired general for the army, he knows how to get us to tell him things. Despite his injury, he's still terrifying. The army needs men, Father. Jinhai steps into the house, closing the door behind him. I step out of his way. A dragon is required of each family. I'll go, Father proclaims. No, my twin and I banish the thought at once. I'll go, Father, my twin announces. You can't, I protest. You'll die. I'm not as strong as I should be, Mulan, but I'm not a lost cause. Jinhai glares at me. I'm to blame. The door bangs open, knocking objects off the shelf. Mother stands in the light, a force scarier than Father. Cow? Her voice is chilling. I know, my love. Father walks to her, wrapping an arm around her shoulders. He will be fine. He's ready. Mother shrugs him off and walks to Jinhai's side. You are strong, my boy. You will serve the province well. You'll remain in the area for a few days, so we don't need to pack you yet. But you're due in the center within the hour. You should go now. Get dressed. He can wait a few minutes, Mother. Ming peeks out of her room. It won't take an hour to get to the center. Your brother will be early, Ming. It shows strength and preparedness. He will find favor with the generals. I wonder if he'll be serving with the lieutenant now. Perhaps he'll be in the center when I take Jinhai to drop him off. He will find favor with the generals because of Father, Ming replies, unafraid of Mother's reaction. Mother's jaw tightens, but she chooses not to argue when she could be putting her energy into preparing her son for battle. Jinhai slips away to get ready, holding eye contact with me for a moment as he scoots around the furniture and green plants Mother keeps in the house. Your brother will find favor for many reasons, Ming. He is a fearsome dragon from a strong family line. He will be fine in battle and will return to us victorious with the rebels' heads on pikes. Ming's eyes grow wide. Jinhai will be fine, Ming. He will do his duty and make our family proud, and we will keep things safe at home for him, won't we? I jump in. Ming is far too young to talk about the horrors of war. Now, Jinhai has to go get his orders. I'll take him there and make sure he doesn't get lost on his way home tonight. Why don't you and Mother make his favorite dish for dinner so that we can send him off properly? Ming rushes to Jinhai as he reappears, dressed to go, and wraps her arms around his waist. See you tonight. I jerk my head toward the door, knowing my twin needs an escape. The room suddenly feels overly warm. See you tonight. He tears himself away, waving to Mother without looking, and follows me out the door. That was intense, he commented. Let me go, I beg him quietly. This should be my duty. No. His tone is harsh. Balling his fist by his side, he quickens our pace, trying not to let his face reflect his frustration. They said dragons, I push, not sons. You can't be a dragon. Yan Mulan. Uh, no, that was wrong. You can't be a dragon in Yan Liu, Mulan. I will go. We turn the corner, moving fast. He's going to shift soon. I need to watch so I don't fall behind. But no, Mulan. Jinhai halts. My shoulder slams into him. So much for watching closely. You will not go to war. I won't allow it. And they won't accept you anyway. Jinhai. My head snaps back as he grabs my shoulders and shakes me. His eyes burn intently into me with such ferocity as I step back. He keeps his grip on me. I may not be as powerful as the others, Mulan, but I am trained well. I have been compensating this entire time, and no one has ever guessed. I'll be fine. I'm terrified for him, but I don't say it. I'll be fine, Mulan. He softens his words. You don't need to worry about me. Besides, he says, smirking, shouldn't you be more worried about your lover? My eyes grow so wide they should fall out of my head. How did I know you were lusting after that lieutenant you found in the woods and brought back to the hospital? I'm not blind, sis. I made sure I wasn't followed. How did he see me? I was in the town and saw you. He pauses. Don't worry, I wasn't snooping. You shouldn't be so obvious about your love, Mulan. It's been 2 months. It's not love, I protest, looking away. His hand slides down my arm to clasp my hands. My brother shakes them playfully. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on your beloved while we're at war. Probably be working under his command anyway. It's a terrifying thought. Maybe he'll get roughed up a little bit. He's too pretty for you. Seeing my opportunity, I take it. I've seen his scars, Jinhai. He's plenty roughed up. You just can't see them when he's fully dressed. Jinhai pales, nearly dropping my hands. It's a good thing I know you only mean in the hospital while you were caring for him, or I'd have to kill my commanding officer. You know He tapped my nose, cutting me off. You're far too meek for that, Mulan. Now let's move along. My brother turns, stepping away from me so he can shift. I follow suit and transform into my dragon form, careful not to be seen, and lift away from the town. Buildings grow small as we take to the air. The wind is cool against my scales, but I don't mind. Few like me get to have this experience, so I remind myself to revel in it while I can. Jinhai looks at me, eyes gleaming. I watch for a moment as he dips, his blue scales shining against the bright sun. I've always been jealous of his shading. It's my favorite color, or perhaps it's my favorite because it's my brother's coloring. My jade scales just aren't as appealing. I tip, following Jinhai as he veers off course, directing us to an area just outside of the center where I won't be noticed transforming back into a girl. When we land, we walk to the center together, able to speak again. Small children run in the colorful streets below. Not too long ago, I was one of them. Now, I've grown and become a tea leaf merchant like my parents. I resist the urge to flap my wings extra hard as we glide over one of our competitors, a man who actively works to steal our customers with his inferior products. Jinhai dips, diving low suddenly. He twirls around to watch my reflection. This is a game to him, as if he weren't about to go off to war unprepared, despite his years of training to defend the village if need be. I ignore him, staying on track. If I give in to his playfulness, we'll end up late, and Mother would have my hide after Jinhai disappears from our lives to serve the province. Jinhai snorts disapprovingly, but returns to my side. Ahead, other dragons make their way to the center to report to their new commanders. Bright colors fill the air as they fly in, landing in the distance and transforming. After a few minutes, Jinhai dives low, looking for a clear space to land. I slow my flight, waiting for him to make his choice. Behind a line of buildings and trees, he dips down. When my feet touch the ground, I transform as quickly as possible, darting for the bushes to avoid being noticed should we have overlooked any bystanders. When I emerge, my twin is waiting. Didn't feel like racing today? He crosses his arms teasingly. Not when Mother would skin me alive for making you late, brother. I reach up and tuck a hairpin back into my long bangs to hold them out of my face. Now, before we go, let's make you presentable. He turns, allowing me to run my fingers through the length of his hair and tie it low on his back after braiding a small section of it. He adjusts his collar and spins for me to see. How is it that your transformations never mess up your hair, Mulan? Benefits of Mother's line, I reply. You have more father in you, and boys aren't so lucky. Are you saying the matriarchal line is superior? He taunts, starting to walk toward the center, arms still crossed over his chest. It's a good look for him, one he'll need on the battlefield. If that's what you're saying, then we have no hope of surviving this war. His serious note hits me like a punch in training and racing Sorry, I activated Siri. His serious note hits me like a punch to the gut in training and races through my body like ice. I am my mother's daughter, and he didn't get her strength. I took that from him. The men walking into war had the blood of the province in their veins, not that of the dragon I carry. Should anyone admit it, our enemies are indeed stronger, which is why we have to be smarter with our attacks. It's why my parents should have allowed me to go. At least I hold some hope against the enemy. The province would never allow it. They're too afraid of the enemy. My scales are a secret. I'm not saying that. I roll my eyes. You'll be fine. He glances over. You're not acting like I'll be fine, Mulan. I wish you would let me go, I grumble. I could help. No, his words are harsh and angry. You wish you could save me, but I don't need saving, Mulan. I have every bit the strength the rest of those men have. Just because you're one of the only girls in the province who can shift doesn't mean you're superior. He doesn't, though. My brother isn't as strong as the other dragons, and he knows it. I was never meant to be able to shift, but my mother's bloodline changed things for my family. Jinhai has worked hard to keep up with the others, but I can always tell when he struggles, something I picked up on from our training together. At least I was allowed to participate in that openly. You're not coming, Mulan. When you get there, go see your broken lieutenant and then go home. I'll be back tonight to prepare. Jinhai stalks off angrily ahead of me, but ensures he doesn't get more than a few paces away. Only minutes older than me, he's convinced he has to care for me. Admittedly, he did when we were younger, but not any longer. I suppose neither of us will give up our drive to protect the other. Jinhai! Voices shout as we walk to the center. He raises a hand and laughs as if we hadn't just been fighting. Waiting, he loops his arm around my shoulder and pulls me in, something he likes to do to remind the boys that I'm off limits to them. Mulan, nice to see you. They respectfully bow their heads to me. I nod back as they turn their attention back to my brother. I don't get a step away before an explosion sounds at the center and the ground ripples under my feet. So there you have it. That is the very first chapter of Mulan Dragon Shifter. I hope that you have enjoyed our fun hangout time. If you want more information on Mulan and to see what just caused that explosion, you can actually go to mulaninfo.kmrobinsonbooks.com. It's available right now for you in both ebook, paperback, and hardcover, which I'm really excited about. We've got our exclusive edition hardcover, which is, oh, so magical and so pretty. And it's got the prettiest dust jacket. And underneath the dust jacket is an alternative cover, which I am just so excited about. It's actually reminiscent of the inside of the book, where we've got really pretty two-page spreads, and we've got the beautiful things going on inside of this. This copy was actually misprinted, so I can't show you the inside. Should have checked that before I went live, friends. But it's got so many pretty graphics on the inside. There's a lot of really cool stuff inside of the hardcover. You can also get the paperback version or the ebook version. mulaninfo.kmrobinsonbooks.com for all of the fun with that one. If you want to decide which book I am reading live from next, I need you to get into my comments. Should I read from Golden, Jaded, The Siren Wars, Lions and Lamps? Should we do Virtually Sleeping Beauty, Syndrome? There's so many that you can pick from, and everything is up for grabs. So you guys know I've got nearly 30 books out. You can pick any of the first books in the series. You can pick any of the prequel novellas, or you can pick any of the standalones. So don't ask me to read from the sequels or the third books in the series. Go with the first ones or the standalones or prequel novellas. Those are all up for grabs as well. We will be doing this more and more frequently because I want to read to you guys, I guess. We'll get better as we go. But I'm very excited to see what you vote for next. So thanks so much for hanging out. If you've got questions about Mulan, Jinhai, Kyung, or maybe the love interest that we have not met yet, we are going to be doing some cool things coming up. Gabby's shouting out Golden. Yes, girl. We've got all the fun things going on here. We will be doing more live streams. I know it's been a minute since we jumped on and did a live stream here on Facebook. We've been doing a lot over on YouTube and on Instagram, but I'm glad to be back here hanging out with you guys on Facebook as well. So get those requests in. We're going to be doing more soon. And I will see you guys again for our next live stream here on Facebook.com/KMRobinsonBooks, over on Instagram.com/KMRobinsonBooks, and on YouTube.com/KMRobinsonBooks. We are doing our brand new weekly Ask Me Anything Hangouts every single Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, where I'm inviting you guys to come on air on Instagram with me and talk about books, my books, other books. We can talk about book world stuff. We can talk about all sorts of fun things. And I'm inviting authors to come on and meet you guys as well and talk about their books. So I hope you'll come join me for all the fun. Until then, get in my comments and let me know which book you want to see more live readings from. We might even get into maybe chapter 2 of Mulan Dragon Shifter. We'll find out. We will find out. Thanks for joining me, guys, and stay tuned because I'm going to be dropping brand new information about that new book I'm writing this week. Like right now, I'm writing this thing in 3 days. It'll be out in the next couple of weeks as soon as my editor goes through it. I can't wait to tell you guys more, but it's a really cool Peter Pan twist. I'm super excited for this one. It's going to be great. Thanks, friends. I will see you again next time. Until then, have a fantastic day and stay inspired.